What is up, my friends? It is Tuesday evening's Anfield Agenda transfer news roundup. I'm going to take you through the latest news around Liverpool Football Club. We're going to talk about Hugo Ekitike and why I think Fabrizio Romano is very, very wrong. We're going to speak about Mark Guehi and why I think Florian Plettenberg is very, very wrong. And we're also going to speak about Harvey Elliott and why I believe that David Ornstein is, well, very, very right, actually, on this one. That, and we're going to look at another few bits and pieces, including a potential replacement for Mark Guehi being signed by Crystal Palace. So that and lots more to come over the next 8 to 10 minutes, but you know the drill. I'm going to talky talk, then I'd like you to typey type. And then tonight, 8:45, we'll come back together and we'll all have a little laugh at Manchester City for getting knocked out of the Club World Cup by Al Hilal and disgracing European football. So that and lots more to come, but until then, let's get stuck into the news. Right, we're going to start with the news that Eintracht Frankfurt are not negotiating with any clubs as of yet for Hugo Ekitike, and Hugo Ekitike has not verbally agreed to join any club. That's a report from Bild. They also go on to say that Frankfurt are not expecting any movement until August. So we'll keep an eye on this situation. I'll move on to tell you why I think Romano was wrong in a moment. But until then, well, let's talk about Plettenberg being wrong. He said, I understand Mark Guehi is now at the top of the list for Liverpool. No argument from me yet. We also see advanced talks are taking place between Liverpool and the 24-year-old centre-back, with Liverpool trying to close the deal. Again, no arguments for me on that one. It's the next line that he's wrong about. England international remains under contract with Palace until 2027. Wrong. 2026. He's got 1 year to go on his contract that started today, so he's now officially inside his final year. But that's okay, Florian. You've been messing up all summer, but I'm here to clean it up for you, bro. It's okay. It's part of the service. We move on to Anfield Agenda, who say David Ornstein said Liverpool want 40 million with a buyback clause or 50 million without a buyback clause for Elliot. Now again, this one I would say on the money. As always, Mr. Ornstein, 22-year-old forward is eyeing regular football at an elite level, potentially Champions League, and may look to go abroad. So look, I think this will make a lot of you guys very happy. Nobody really wants Elliot to move on. Totally understand that, but the minutes will be limited, like we've said. And if Liverpool get 40 million and a buyback clause, that's good business. Or 50 million without a buyback clause, again, I think it's really good business. Both high numbers and both, well, deserving after Harvey's fantastic performance for the under-21s in the European Championship. So well done to everybody on that one. And of course, let's wait and see what happens. Now, we may have a bit of a problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's seemingly like nobody wants to buy Darwin Nunez. This from Greg Evans said, recruiting a new centre forward depends on the sale of Darwin Nunez. Napoli and Liverpool have been unable to agree a fee. This is what I always talk about with Italian clubs. They always cry poor mouth, even though they've brought in a load of dough in this case for Napoli. So Liverpool have a price. If Napoli don't want to pay it, it's either Liverpool come down or they move on. We know that they've got another option. I think it's the Udinese forward. We also know they've spent a lot of time buttering up Darwin Nunez and his agent and talking about the project, and he's been sold on it. But Liverpool have a valuation. Again, I think the valuation is high for what it's worth at about 70 million, but I'd like to see him sold as quickly as possible so we could get to bringing in a centre forward. Now, this is where I disagree with Fabrizio Romano. Disagree? I disagree and I disagree. That's how strongly I am on this, folks. So Fabrizio Romano said, Liverpool are working on the signing of Hugo Ekitike. Cool, but we aren't. We may be looking at him as an option, but there's absolutely no way that that is true, that Liverpool are working on the signing of Hugo Ekitike. They're looking at him, they're looking at Osimhen, they're looking at Isak, and I dare say a few more, but they're not working to sign anyone in particular yet. Now, I don't know if this was something lost in communication or something, but that statement to make it sound like Liverpool are going ahead trying to bring him in, I believe at this stage anyway, is premature. And look, Fabrizio, happens to the best of us. Happens quite a lot. Okay, maybe it doesn't. But either way, I don't think Fabrizio's right on this one. Again, the interest is there. There's no denying that. But the wording of that makes it sound like Liverpool are into the negotiating process, and I don't believe that we are. In fact, I don't know if any club really are at this stage for Hugo Ekitike, but doesn't mean we're not interested. I just think Romano has gone a little bit too quickly here. Right, let's talk about a potential replacement for Mark Guehi at Crystal Palace. So we've known for a while that they're interested in Ousmane Diomande. This piece here from Ebola said that Palace are closing in on a deal to sign the Sporting central defender. A deal worth about £47 million. So big money being spent here by Crystal Palace. I don't know if this is the record signing, but I'd say it must be fairly close if it isn't. And again, it will probably mean that they'll want to recoup. Well, it'll obviously mean they want to recoup as much as possible for Mark Guehi. I think a fair price for Mark Guehi is somewhere around £35-40 million, but I do think there's every chance he becomes a Liverpool player. Keep an eye on this one. Like we mentioned earlier on, there's no doubt Liverpool have been speaking with Guehi's representatives. They've been given the green light from them, and it looks as if Liverpool are where Mark Guehi would like to continue on his development. Now let's move on to speak a little bit here around Harvey Elliott. Again, you can find this on the Anfield Agenda X account. It's from Alex Crook. It said, Newcastle United are among the clubs who are interested in signing Harvey Elliott. Elliott is keen on a move away from Anfield this summer. Now, it's not great to read that, is it? That Elliott's keen on a move away. But again, context is required. Elliott loves the club. All the fans love Harvey. But it's just about football. It's about him getting game time. And he's good enough that he should be out there playing now. So if they could do a deal for Elliott to Newcastle, do you think that there's, a little chink of light there maybe for Alexander Isak? Still not going away, This here from Corriere dello Sport said Napoli are considering moving away from Darwin Nunez and going on to other targets due to the major gap in valuation with Liverpool. But they would have known this fairly quickly. This is what gets me. They spend time buttering up the player, selling the vision, but no time looking to Liverpool to what we may ask and if it's feasible for them or not. They've got the Kvaratskhelia money. They're probably going to get the money for Victor Osimhen. Again, crying poor mouth here just doesn't work. And if you don't value him enough, fair enough, move on. But either way, we need to concentrate on selling Mr. Darwin Nunez this summer. Ben Jacobs said, as of Tuesday morning, Liverpool have still not received a formal bid for Darwin Nunez. Napoli still view Nunez as their top target. Valuation from Liverpool remains at about €70 million. Ed Aarons has said that Liverpool could be willing to offer Ben Doak as part of a deal to sign Mark Guehi after Crystal Palace expressed an interest in signing the young Scottish forward in January. Look, that would be good business. Liverpool, realistically, probably aren't going to be able to give Ben Doak the time that he deserves to go out and build his career. Crystal Palace were already interested in January. If they're still interested, well, surely there's a deal to be done there. One player gone in the other direction. If it's a straight cash deal, fair enough. But either way, it will at least open the channels of communication more for that move for Mark Guehi. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Nottingham Forest have agreed a deal with Olympic Lyon for Malik Fofana, but no agreement yet on the player side. Fofana is waiting for Champions League clubs, with Chelsea still keen on the player, reports Fabrizio Romano. Of course they are, because it's not like Chelsea have enough left wingers already. They only have like 3 or 4. And then, of course, they're still wanting to sign the kid from West Ham. So they still want to bring in him. Whether they can bring him in or not remains to be seen. But again, the price tag there seems to be dropped for Mohamed Kudus from £85 million, which is his release clause and is only active for the first 10 days of this month, down to about £60 million. So again, poor old Chelsea having to make do with 3 or 4 left wingers. God bless them. They definitely need Malik Fofana, and they definitely haven't spent £2 billion odd quid on players over the last few years. So yeah, again, if Liverpool want to move for Malik Fofana, well, it looks as if they're going to have to move quickly here. Yes, he might turn down Nottingham Forest because of no Champions League football, but Chelsea can certainly offer that. They can offer that London lifestyle, and I'm sure that they can offer him a nice 6, 7, 8 or 9 year contract as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at for now. I think you'll agree, lots to talk through. We'll see you guys tonight at 8:45 for the Late Night Agenda. If you haven't, please do join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community as well, where you'll get all the news nice and quickly before we go on to streams. And again, you'll be able to take part in polls and help us shape the future of your community here on the channel. Thank you so much for your time as always, folks. Much love, and I'll see you at 8:45. We'll talk then. Bye-bye.